Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Collab with Kiva. We are on part 3 of our From Heatwave to Headway series, and I can tell you the temperatures continue to be hot. It's just, I don't know what we're in, but I was recently in New Orleans, really in the state of Louisiana. There were days when it was like, yeah, today it's going to feel like 114. And it's like, it's amazing to me how relative things become, because I think one day or at one point we look, it's like, oh, look, it's only feeling like 103 now. And there's a slight breeze and you actually get excited. Like, oh, yeah, we can go ahead and take that walk. Let's go and do the rooftop deck. It's still over 100 degrees, but anyway, from heat wave to headway, we have talked about the episode 1, or the part 1 was about planning it out. Part 1 was actually about getting it out of your head. Part 2 was about planning it out. So today is part 3, which is cost it out. Okay, so we have get it out, plan it out, cost it out. And what are we talking about there? Not just the costs associated with what your offer is going to be or what it's going to take for you to accomplish the things that you have already gotten out of your head and planned out, but also I want you to think about it in terms of productivity. You know, the Bible even mentions the importance of knowing how much something's going to cost before we go ahead and engage in it. So when we're looking at things from our getting out of it session and now in our planning it out session that we've had, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So I don't want you to take that plan that you have and think you have to tackle everything all at the same time. It's not feasible unless you have, as my mother used to say, a money tree in the backyard, or you have some, windfall of money that comes your way that allows you to tackle multiple things. So it's really important to cost them out. Think about what the productivity of that looks like. What's it going to cost your team to get it done? What's it going to cost an outside vendor to accomplish it for you? Is there any way that you can have some savings? Again, we were talking about kind of snowballing some of those things. If there are some priorities that are very similar, can we build off of one and capitalize on it to accomplish another? What can you actually afford to do? Because it's great to have plans upon plans upon plans. The reality is that at some point those plans have to meet reality, and that's normally in the area of cost. What's it going to cost to accomplish these things? What's it going to cost in order to achieve the necessary goals that you have set? Again, you might come to a point where you have to break these things down, piece them out, and figure out which path can I take, which path is sustainable for me and my team in order to accomplish the things that I'm looking for. And so often I think when I'm working with clients, it's this urgency to want to tackle all the things, and it's like that's just not economically feasible. In many cases, it's also not productivity feasible. Your team will be feeling like they are on one of those whiplash rides, because it's like, we're working on this priority and this priority and this priority and this priority. And there's an old quote that talks about, like, if we go back to the origin of the word priority, it was singular. Like, there was one. We now have multiples. So therefore, nothing really becomes a priority when we start to get into everything as a priority. So really thinking about productivity-wise, is it feasible to have your team working on 5 different priorities that none of them have been figured out in terms of, are they even feasible for the team to accomplish in the time frame? The money involved that's going to cost for the team to get those things done. Are there new tools that are needed for the team to accomplish these things, or maybe new tools that are needed to help them do it quicker? So really wanting you to cost it out, get really uncomfortable with your numbers, and all of your numbers, not just how much revenue is coming in, but also looking at how much is going out. We are still in sketchy economic times, and for some that means that it's time to tighten the budget. It's time to tighten the financial belt and decrease costs. And so that also impacts what it is that you're planning to do. So whatever it is, I want you to truly take time to cost it out. Again, not just in terms of revenue coming in, but what's going to flow out in order to accomplish this. And is it worth it? That's another key point to add. So is it worth it? And also thinking through, what is it going to do to you, to your team, outside vendors that you might work with, to really make this happen. So again, this is part 3. We're costing it out because that's super important before we move on to part 4 and 5. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Collab with Kiva. I'm wildly cheering you on as you go forth and execute data and operational efficiencies in your business. If you need additional support, connect with me via my website, the516collaborative.com.